మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ డేట్ చూపించు ఒకసారి. డయల్ 100 కాల్ చేసి పట్టించేది మూసేస్తాం.
If this is what they call journalism, then we should all probably pack up and go home.
డైలీ చిన్న పిల్లలు పెద్దోళ్ళు తింటున్నారు దానివల్ల.
This is a Telugu YouTube channel called Tejasvi News, accusing Muslim vendors of selling poison food at a tribal festival in Telangana. There's no investigation, no medical evidence, and no attempt to verify whether anyone had actually fallen ill. What there is instead are cameras pushed into people's faces, aggressive questioning, and a single phrase repeated again and again and again until it starts sounding like a fact. Food Jihad. Over a series of videos, Tejasvi News turns these small-time traders selling a common local snack called Kowa Bun into suspects behind a larger conspiracy.
మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ డేట్ చూపించింది. మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ డేట్ పట్టుకో అంటున్నాను. అర్థమైంది.
And the anchors go from adulteration to Rohingya Muslims to questions about why Muslims are present at a Hindu festival at all. In one clip, a vendor is made to eat his own food on camera, surrounded by a crowd, as proof of his innocence. This isn't clumsy reporting or some momentary lapse in judgment. This neatly fits into a format that has taken over large parts of the internet in India today. Selling hate, selling communalism, where everyday people are put on trial in public, all for clicks. This is happening across the country. There are several people doing the same. It's about how easily hate can be manufactured, scaled, and defended online, and how seamlessly it plugs into politics, money, and ideology. Let me explain. Now let's look at the methodology used by Tejasvi News. The anchors didn't approach health officials, inspectors, or records. They went straight to individual vendors. They demanded paperwork that small traders selling freshly prepared food typically don't have.
ఆధార్ కార్డ్ లేనప్పుడు ఇక్కడ అమ్మనికి ఆంధ్ర నుంచి వచ్చి ఇక్కడ పర్మిషన్ ఎవరు ఇచ్చారు?
When vendors showed confusion, the camera cut away, reframing this uncertainty as guilt. Across videos, the framing repeatedly drifted to food jihad, a long-standing conspiracy theory that falsely alleges that Muslims deliberately contaminate food sold to Hindus. Soon after the videos drew criticism, the VHP publicly backed Tejasvi News and attacked critics as part of the Tukde Tukde gang. So predictable. Now what does all this show? It shows just how quickly an online accusation can spill into real-world harassment. Once you see this pattern, it starts showing up everywhere. Across India, several platforms have become home to such content. These videos are usually shot in crowded public spaces and framed as spontaneous vox pops. You know, ordinary people, unfiltered opinions, and raw truth. But as News Laundry has extensively reported, many of these interactions are carefully managed. There are coordinators who decide who speaks, when they step into the frame, and how long they stay there. And the same faces appear again and again, sometimes as angry patriots, sometimes as worried citizens, and sometimes even as minority voices who conveniently confirm majoritarian fears. And when videos spiral into hate or misinformation, creators retreat behind a familiar excuse. We are just recording what people are saying. That defense collapses the moment you look at the thumbnails, the captions, and the questions being asked. Just look at how they provoke. This is where it's worth pausing for a bit. Much of what we know about these ecosystems exists because independent newsrooms have spent years doing slow, unglamorous work. That's tracking patterns, filing RTIs, and speaking to people targeted by these campaigns. Without this kind of journalism, stories like these would simply dissolve into noise. If you value journalism that checks claims, follows news, and holds power to account, this is a good moment to support us. Scan the QR code on your screen and choose any amount of your choice to support us. because independent reporting is often the only thing standing between manufactured outrage and complete immunity. Now, this shift in online video narratives didn't happen accidentally. As television news came under greater scrutiny from courts and regulators, the most extreme forms of provocation became riskier on TV. Online platforms became the new home for the same kind of shouting, the same dog whistles, and the same polarization. In Telugu, channels like Nationalist Hub and Reflection Bharat follow this template closely. The same pattern repeats in Tamil. Channels like Ilaya Bharatam and Shri TV routinely frame Muslims as threats to education, public health, law and order, or national unity. In Karnataka, when 23-year-old Neha Hiremat was stabbed to death by her classmate Fayaz, it was turned into a campaign against all Muslims. Several posts warned Hindu parents about their daughters' Muslim friends. Many YouTube videos invoke the Kerala story as rhetorical device to suggest organized conversion attempts. Some YouTubers even used any crime involving a Hindu victim and Muslim accused and connected it all to Neha Hiremat case, even when the cases were not similar or confirmed. Pictures of Neha's dead body were circulated online with captions of Love Jihad. Then there is Puneet Kerehalli, a man who faces over 12 cases from murder to extortion and is notorious for live streaming his attacks on Muslim vendors on his social media. He is the prime accused in the murder of Muslim cattle trader Idris Pasha in 2023. But he's continued trespassing into properties owned by Muslims, threatening them and streaming it on social media. Now, Kerala offers some of the clearest examples of how this ecosystem operates as a business model. The Malayalam YouTube channel Karma News has more than 1.5 million subscribers and a long record of sensational and communal content. One of its most notorious videos claimed that students in and around Kunnur were celebrating the death of CDS Bipin Rawat. The visuals later turned out to be from a Freshers' Day event that was held even before the crash. In a story on The Caravan, journalist Alishan Jafri had chronicled the Hindi online channels thriving on hate. These channels have millions of followers. In fact, Alishan notes that the content is tailor-made for virality. And once this goes viral, mainstream media picks it up and then do their round of dissection. This then allows political leaders to further polarize it. What emerges here isn't just hate speech, it's a business model. And many of these platforms are uniquely suited for this. India, for example, is YouTube's largest market, with more than 460 million users. For a large section of the population, news consumed on Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp feels more authentic than mainstream media. Investigations by groups like Access Now and Global Witness have shown how opaque advertising and recommendation systems are. It's often impossible to know who paid for a political or communal video, how much money went into amplifying it, or why a particular clip suddenly reaches millions. These platforms always insist that they have multiple layers of review. But critics argue that once harmful content is live and spreading, any later intervention is already too late. And now, this ecosystem is entering a new phase. A report by the Center for Study of Organized Hate shows how generative AI is being used to mass produce anti-Muslim propaganda in India. Researchers identified more than 1,300 pieces of AI-generated hateful content, this is across platforms, and created by nearly 300 separate accounts, generating over 27 million interactions. The report identifies 4 dominant themes: the sexualization of Muslim women, imagery that portrays Muslims as invaders, animals, and existential threats, reinforcement of conspiracy theories like love jihad, population jihad, and rail jihad, and framing aggression against them as humorous, heroic, or even entertaining. Out of nearly 200 posts reported for violations, only one had been removed. But of course, this ecosystem didn't begin online. These platforms did not invent Islamophobia, but they've definitely further scaled it up. We also need to talk about the money. The millions of views on these videos means revenue for these channels. But YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter ads are not the only revenue stream. Reporting by News Laundry on Sudarshan News shows how government advertising can sustain hate-driven outlets. This, by the way, is a channel that even Supreme Court called divisive, and they have invented new jihad terms. After 2014, Sudarshan TV's public ad income increased even as mainstream channels faced severe cuts. Across Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, and Malayalam examples, the pattern is strikingly consistent. But as viewers, you must remember, the Tejaswi News episode is not about Koa puns. It shows how hate is produced, amplified, defended, and normalized in India's online economy, and how difficult it really is to undo the damage once it spreads.